Hello and welcome to the inaugural episode of The Overcast, Australia's #1 Overwatch podcast hosted by us. I'm your host, Govinda Whitehurst, and as ever, I'm joined by the mechanised monster, Mr. Kale Adam.
I play to win.
Every week we'll discuss news, strategies, and basically everything Overwatch. As some of you might know, this is an offshoot of the PS podcast, and as such, we'll be focusing on the console versions of the game. If you like what you hear, please leave us a review and check out the PS podcast for all things PlayStation. Now, let's get on with the show.
Oh!
Kale, you used to hate Overwatch. What happened?
I can't believe we're here. What has become of my life?
Well, what happened is we have a PlayStation podcast, and we talked about Overwatch so much, that we decided it's time to give it its own episode, its own podcast.
Let's just go all in.
So we're going all in. We're going to try and be here for like 20-30 minutes, and we're going to talk about everything Overwatch with a classic hero of the week.
Yep.
And in case you didn't pick up on it, this week's hero is D.Va.
It's D.Va. Yeah, we really going to break the mold with this podcast. D.Va, what can we say? Who is D.Va? Hannah Song, I believe is her name.
Let's, before we jump into D.Va, let's jump into the game and what's been happening with it recently.
Oh, fair enough.
Because this is a special episode. We thought we'd time it with the release of competitive mode, which came out yesterday for us.
Yeah, for consoles at least. And it's very interesting.
Yeah, some teething problems. They've released it. Some people are upset about a few of the things, which we'll talk about soon. So far, I've enjoyed it, some of the changes.
Yep.
As far as I'm concerned, quick match essentially doesn't exist in my vocabulary.
Quick match is now for practicing characters.
Yeah. Honing skills that you don't want to try and do, and it might have a detrimental effect on your rank. It
is somewhat like the real Overwatch starts here. It seems like... So we've been playing for a couple weeks now. You a little more than me. I'm
sitting at around 65 hours, which is a lot considering I do other things.
And play other games. It really snuck up this game, and I didn't expect to enjoy it as much as I did.
Literally, the way this happened is Kale was buying Total War, and I had nothing to play while I was here, so I bought Overwatch the day it came out, not knowing anything about it at all. Literally didn't know. I thought it was a MOBA.
I thought it was like Battleborn.
Yeah.
One of those.
I thought it was just playing League of Legends. So I played it, loved it, convinced 4 other people to buy it.
Yep.
And now we're one person short of a full team.
Yeah. We should recruit people through this. That'd be fucking fantastic.
Yeah, but you refuse to play with anyone other than people you know, so that's going to be difficult.
I am scared they'll make fun of me.
But anyway, we've been playing. We've all been, everyone on what we call the Muffin Squad. We're called the Muffin Squad.
Yeah.
No particular reason. Muffins are yum. And
so am I.
We've all been ranked, I think. No, not all of us. I've been ranked, Kale's been ranked, and another guy on our team's been ranked. Now, I have an inherent problem with this ranking system.
So yes, you play 10 games to receive a placement.
Yep, 10 placement matches. And after that, they give you a numerical value from 0 to 100, or 1 to 100. I don't know if you can get 0. You'd have to be, pretty shit. And that is, I don't know, 100's the best, 1's the worst. And based off those 10 matches, they'll rank you accordingly. And then every match that you play after that, if you win, you'll go up. If you lose, you go down.
Yep.
That's the simple of it. But apparently, if you win a match against a team that is a much higher rank than your team, you will actually get more points towards your competitive ranking. But similarly, if you lose to a team that's worse than you, you'll lose a larger amount of points towards your competitive ranking.
Yes.
And I think, I could be wrong, but I think peppered in there is a little bit of how you individually play in the team.
Just sprinkled in.
Just
gently.
So, Kale played a few by himself. He is ranked, 56 now?
Yeah.
I'm on 50 after fighting back from 47.
First impressions, it hurts now to lose, and it's even more frustrating when you're not playing with a good team.
Yeah.
Which still happens.
Yeah, it does. I played a match last night with just me and one other guy that I know, and we had a Bastion on our team that refused to get into his turret form, and I couldn't fathom why.
It doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make any sense. Like, why play Bastion if you're just going to play as your scout? Is it scout form?
I guess so. Submachine gun.
It was pissing me off. But yeah, I get way more angry now than I seem to get on a quick match. And I was getting angry in quick match, so that's interesting.
And it's funny because Kotaku just put up a great article about how this competitive mode has sort of destroyed what made Overwatch amazing in a few ways. Like, now it is competitive. Like, it's true to its name. Like, now that vitriol that's common in, like, Call of Duty and Battlefield is going to come to our happy little community. The
toxicity.
Yeah, of this city.
Because now someone on my team who's playing like shit is actually having a negative effect on me. And directly and measurably.
Yeah, like, you can see that how much they have ruined you. And it shouldn't matter, but it does. We all know, if you're listening to this, you know that it fucking matters.
So yeah, I have some problems with this placement match system.
Yep.
Just because it seemed like we were getting placed with people who were... I guess that's why they're placement matches, but we were getting placed with what I can only perceive to be professional Overwatch players.
Yep.
We would have teams that were very, very coordinated.
They were fucking us up.
And we actually got, like, mopped up a few times.
It was embarrassing.
It was embarrassing, but maybe that's just me being bitter at losing, and maybe we just need to coordinate a little better.
Yeah, it's true. And I think we're going to start doing that, like have a weekly training session.
Communication is key.
Yes.
So
now more than ever.
And communication, but we had a really good team comp, and we thought that would just hold, and then it just turns out that is incorrect. And we need to be a little more malleable.
Yeah. Yep. Okay. And I guess so we should kind of set the stage. So PlayStation 4, we haven't quite received the Torbjorn patch, but we have received the Widowmaker McCree nerf.
Yes. So as far as I'm aware, McCree's Fan the Hammer has been nerfed pretty significantly, but only Fan the Hammer. If you're shooting as primary fire, it'll still do 70 points of damage.
Yep.
But I believe if you're shooting his ult, you've been dropped down to 40 per bullet. And they did that primarily so that you cannot walk up behind Reinhardt and kill him in one Fan the Hammer, which was obscene.
But it was great fun.
No, it was awful. I think they for Blizzard that was never his intended role.
It's funny though because we were so innocent. We didn't know that. We just thought McCree was a badass motherfucker.
He is though. When he gets behind you with that high noon, nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. And then. But they also increased I think it was his reload speed.
Yep.
So that I guess it kind of makes up for it a little bit.
He's still lethal though.
Oh yeah, especially if you're anyone but Reinhardt or D.Va.
Yep.
Or Roadhog. Anyone else, even if Roadhog's lost 20% of his damage, you can pretty much kill him with the classic... Fan the Hammer, dodge roll, Fan the Hammer. Because if you don't know, a dodge roll will instantly reload your clip, and a Fan the Hammer will instantly empty your clip.
Yep, so you're getting two hammers.
So you're getting two Fan the Hammers. So that's a classic tactic.
Look, I'm a fan of the hammer.
And then we've got Widowmaker, who used to do 150 damage on a body shot, I believe.
Obscene.
Which is obscene, and I think... Again, I don't have actually the numbers in front of me, which is probably poor form on us on our
Look, we're gonna get
inaugural episode, but we'll get better. I believe she got dropped down to 120 a body shot.
Yep.
But what they've done to make her still a viable option is her headshot multiplier has gone up to like 1.5 or 2.3 or 2.2, whatever it is. So that her headshots still do the same amount of damage they always did.
Okay, cool. So it's still back at status quo.
So if you're a pro Widowmaker and you can still hit those heads, you're still going to destroy people. It just means that Tracer and Zenyatta can't get one banged in the body, which was fucked.
You just said one bang on the podcast.
I'm fine with it. I said fuck too. We swear. Get ready for it.
I think it'll be interesting. So we're going to play through this competitive season and I guess update it as it goes. And so I think it'll be really interesting to see where our skill rankings are sitting at the end of the season.
I'm on an upwards trend, which makes me feel happy. We actually won some crazy matches this morning.
Actually, yeah, and I wanted to say, so matches are longer now with this best of 5.
I think some what was it, payload, maybe payload or assault, they've actually reduced some of the timers to try and reduce the chance of getting sudden deaths.
Yep.
Because sudden death is also another huge point of contention in this game that people are up in arms about.
Understandably, like, we lost a game that I feel like we had in the bag.
On the inverse, though, we won the best control point game. Because control point, instead of being out of 3, is best out of 5 now.
Yep.
And we were down 2-0 in games, and we came back to win 3 in a row to win the round. And that was good.
What I think is interesting is, so today we're going to talk about D.Va. She's my favourite character, and I've done really well with her. But previously, before competitive mode, I think my best eliminations was around 42. I'm consistently getting higher than that in competitive because they're longer matches.
Yep.
And I feel like that's sort of like a bit skewed, almost. I guess because I'm used to the quick play, and like that was the best I could do in that kind of match. But now, like, I'm
You've got
easily
a bit more
doing
time.
it.
Well, yeah, now we had a full 5 control points.
Yeah.
So obviously you can
You're getting more
get
kills.
more eliminations and that. But yeah, that was a good win, I gotta say.
Good. Just pat yourself on the back for the internet to hear.
And I don't know, there's something for me, like I like playing Mercy, but there's something even more satisfying playing Mercy in competitive, because when you win, you really feel like it was because you were Mercy.
Yeah, yeah.
Like I pretty much won the game multiple times for people, so that's just me.
Yeah, dude, we know. We fucking get it.
Let's
Let's get into D.Va.
Are we getting into D.Va?
Let's get
I
into
feel like there was
D.Va.
something else I wanted to say. No, what was the... Okay, so sudden death. We're sticking to sudden death.
Oh, sorry.
We get sidetracked sometimes. If you don't listen to the PS podcast, this is a regular occurrence. So, sudden death in the beta form was that even if you were playing a payload map or a hybrid map, if you got into sudden death because both of you got to the payload or both of you didn't get the payload, you would end up in a one round of control point.
Yep.
And so that's how they decided, because I think Blizzard kind of just assumed that's the most fair way to decide it, is that you both have to fight over 1 point. Which
Yep.
to me makes sense, but I didn't play the beta.
Yep.
So the way they're doing it now is if you are doing, let's say payload for instance, and you both get the payload to the end, it'll go into another round of payload, but it'll flip a coin. And the coin flips and to decide who's attacking and who's defending. And then you'll get a minute and a half to get the payload to the first or second checkpoint. And that's how they're settling payload maps. And for me even, there's like attacking and defending, one of them has an advantage.
Yeah.
Like in my mind, defending has an advantage most of the time.
And more than likely, you're gonna get away with it. Like, it's just a lot easier inherently to keep people away from the payload.
But the thing is, apparently the statistics are it's a 50-50 split.
I can see it from both sides, but like my thinking is that the payload is a target. Say you're a Junkrat, you just fire in its general direction, and you're probably going to hit things because they have to be around it.
But I guess the argument is that if there's a Junkrat, someone should play fire and someone should keep him at bay.
Yeah, fair.
You know what I mean?
But
there's always a way to counter, and that's the same when people complain about 6 Torbjorns. They say there's a way to stop that. I don't know what it is because it gets me every time.
4 Winstons, 2 Lucios.
We'll talk about Torbjorn in a second. But I think there was just, in my mind, more perceived fairness when you're just fighting over a control point. You're both the same distance away and you both have to get in. Some people were throwing around the idea that you will all go for a control point, but everyone starts with their ult.
Oh, yeah, I don't like that.
The one that I like the most that I heard was that it is actually just a smaller arena, and it's a free-for-all, and when you die, you're dead, and if whoever the last team standing wins.
I'd like that, and even if it could be a battlefield, a map that isn't in the regular rotation, and it's sort of just like bare bones.
Barren.
Yeah,
like a few little bits of cover, but there's not like flanking, and there's not all this stuff.
It's like, I think that could be interesting.
So it'll be interesting to see how they go forward with it. They did mention that there were problems. They acknowledged problems in sudden death, and they were saying that